Good morning, and we're in chapter 7 today. And if you look, Gideon or Jerubbaal, I love the fact that that's what his father called him now, is, well, let Baal fight for himself, basically. Gideon has this army, and it's a fairly big army. He can actually go to war now. This is great. He can conquer what he needs. People have followed him because he is willing to stand up against those people who, the Midianites and the Amorites. And let's see what happens when he does this. Then Jerubbaal, who is Gideon, and all the people that were with him rose up early and pitched beside the well of Herod, so that the host of the Midianites were on the north side of them, but by the hill Morah in the valley. So they are two armies pitched against each other, ready for battle. And the Lord said unto Gideon, the people that are with thee are too many. What, really? Shouldn't we have more? For me to give the Midianites into your hands. In other words, if they go out to battle, I'm not going to be with them. Lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, and say, mine hand hath saved me. He doesn't want them to just win. He wants them to win because of him. Wants them to know he is on their side. And I love this when you think of the name Jerubbaal. And now the Lord is saying, I want to be the one that fights for you. You know, maybe Jeruel, El, as in El Shaddai, or the Lord. Will he fight for himself? He's saying, I will. I will do it. And I will do it through you, but I will do it. Now, therefore, go and proclaim in the ears of the people, whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return home and depart early from Mount Gilead. And there returned of the people 22,000, and there remained 10,000. So 2/3 automatically just went, okay, yeah, I'm too afraid of this. It must have been a big army if you're talking about 32,000 people, and 22 of them were afraid to even go against the Midianites. And the Lord said unto Gideon, the people are too many. What? Wait a minute. We've already cut it down to only 10,000. 1/3 of the army is left, or 2/3 of the army is left, and bring them down unto the water, and I will try them. He knows what he's doing, the Lord does. Remember, whenever they say try them, he knows what will happen. But they need to know, and Gideon needs to know that this is the Lord as well. Well, he does. He knows this more than anybody else, but they need to know that it is the Lord that's with them. And it shall be that of whom I say unto thee, this shall go with thee, the same shall go with thee. And of whomsoever I say unto thee, this shall not go with thee, the same shall not go with me. So just have him go down the water, and I'll explain it in a second, who shall go and who shall stay. So he brought down the people into the water, and the Lord said unto Gideon, every one that lappeth the water with his tongue, as a dog lappeth, him shalt thou set by himself. Likewise, every one that boweth down upon his knees to drink. So he's saying, okay, this is how you're going to separate them. You're going to separate one's over here and one's over here. Ones that bow down and drink straight out of water, and those that lap it up out of their hand. And the number of them that lapped putting their hand to their mouth, were 300 men. But all the rest of the people bowed down upon the knees to drink water. And so here we got those two things. We only have 300 men out of 10,000. Again, a third. The Lord really wants them to know that he is the one that's doing it. The Lord said unto Gideon, by the 300 men that lappeth will I save you, and deliver the Midianites into thine hand. Let all the other people go, every man unto his place. So the people took victuals in their hand and their trumpets, and he sent all the rest of Israel, every man unto his tent, and retained those 300 men. And the host of Midian was beneath him in the valley. And it came to pass that the same night that the Lord said unto him, that the Lord said unto him, Arise, get thee down unto the host, for I have delivered it into thine hand. Here the Lord has done his work. Notice what he says, I have delivered it into thy hand. They haven't done anything yet. The host is still there. What does he mean? He means he has done the preparation. Sometimes when we go out and visit people, when missionaries go and do missionary work, and when we do our ministry, sometimes we'll walk in thinking, these people haven't come to church for a long time. Sometimes you can walk in, and if you're very careful and listen to the Lord, he'll say, I have delivered them into thine hand. In other words, he has done the preparation. They'll be the ones that are prepared because it was him. And you need to just do your part and do your ministering. But if thou fear to go down, go thou with Purah, thy servant, down to the host. I love this fact that the Lord knows Gideon. He wants to give him the confidence he needs. He's not doing this because he doesn't believe the Lord can do it. He's doing it because he's not sure how he fits into it. Thou shalt hear what they say, and afterward shalt thine hands be strengthened to go down unto the host. When thou come down, and with Purah, then he went down with Purah his servant unto the outside of the armed men that were in the host. And the Midianites and the Amalekites and all the children of the east lay along the valley like grasshoppers for multitude. So there was a big army. No wonder they were a bit afraid. And their camels were without number, as the sand by the seaside for multitude. And when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man that told him a dream, that told a dream unto his fellow, and said, Behold, I dreamed a dream, and lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the host of Midian, and it came into a tent and smote it, and it fell and overturned it, and the tent lay along. In other words, it was flattened. And the fellow answered and said, This is nothing else save the sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, the man of Israel, for into his hand hath God delivered Midian and all the host. Notice what this is doing is Gideon's only got 300 men, and they've got thousands of men, and yet they're frightened of Gideon and of the Lord. And I think that gives Gideon confidence. If they're still frightened of him, he knows that they can do something. And it was so. When Gideon heard the telling of the dream and the interpretation thereof, that he worshipped and returned unto the host of Israel, and said, Arise, for the Lord hath delivered into your hands the host of Midian. Now he knows that he can do this. And he divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and they put a trumpet in every man's hand, and with empty pitchers and lamps within the pitchers. And he said unto them, Look on me, and do likewise. Behold, when I come to the outside of the camp, it shall be that as I do, so shall ye do. So follow what I do, and we'll do it together. Then when I blow with a trumpet, and I and all that are with me, then blow ye the trumpet. So he'll be in one group. The other groups listen for the trumpets. As soon as they hear the trumpets from the other people, they do the same thing. Also on every side of the camp, and say, The sword of the Lord and of Gideon. Remember, the guy mentioned Gideon specific in his dream. There is this fear of Gideon as well as the Lord. If they don't fear the Lord because of their own thoughts, they feared Gideon as well. So Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came on to the outside of the camp, and in the beginning of the middle watch, in other words, middle of the night, basically, I believe. And they had but newly set the watch, and they blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers that were in their hands, and the 3 companies blew the trumpets and brake pitchers, and beheld the lamps in their left hands, and the trumpets in their right hands, and blew withal, and they cried, The sword of the Lord and of Gideon. And they stood every man in his place round about the camp, and all the hosts ran and cried and fled. And the 300 blew the trumpets of the Lord, and every man's sword and the Lord set every man's sword against his fellow, even throughout all the host, and the host fled to Beth Shittah and Zererath and the border of Abel Meholah and to Tabath. Now, whenever I've heard this story, this is where the story usually goes to. They blow the trumpets, they break the things, they say the words, and then every man's sword fall against his fellow. The whole army is destroyed. But as we read it carefully, what happens is some of the people were destroyed, others fled. And as they fled, they went to different places or into different places to kind of regather. And the men of Israel gathered themselves together out of Naphtali and out of Asher and out of Manasseh, and pursued after the Midianites. It sounds like the rest of the army goes after them. I'm not quite sure how that worked, but I think they went after the Midianites. Gideon sent messengers throughout all of Mount Ephraim, saying, Come down against the Midianites. He's saying, okay, you guys that were afraid, don't be afraid anymore. Look what we've done. And take before them the waters unto Bethbara and Jordan. Then all the men of Ephraim gathered themselves together and took the waters unto Bethbara and Jordan. Now, I don't want to presume that I know everything about this. This sounds like he sent people out, not the 300, but other people to go and fight this battle. And they took 2 princes of Midianites, Oreb and Zeb, and they slew Oreb upon the rock Oreb, and Zeb they slew at the winepress, and pursued Midian and brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon on the other side of Jordan. So they've destroyed the ones that were there, this army that he sent out, and they took the two princes that were there. Let's see what happens with Gideon and his band of 300 in the next chapter.